New information paints a troubling picture about what happened to a Baltimore County police officer killed in the line of duty yesterday. Police say Amy Caprio was run down while investigating a suspicious vehicle in Perry Hall. Tonight, 4 teenagers are in custody in connection with the crime. WJZ has a team of reporters covering this tragedy. Let's start with Kimberly Eaton at county headquarters, where the chief updated the investigation this evening. Kimberly.
And Vic, he described Officer Caprio as a future leader, someone you would want to hire. Now, we also learned in court today a little bit more about her accused killer, a teenager with a long rap sheet for allegedly stealing cars, now facing a first-degree murder charge. A sea of blue uniforms trickled out of the Baltimore County Courthouse Tuesday afternoon. A powerful show of support as prosecutors asked a judge to keep an accused cop killer in lockup. 16-year-old Dante Harris appeared over video conference, saying almost nothing during his entire court appearance, but the state had a lot to say, detailing a months-long crime spree, including at least 4 stolen cars that allegedly ended in the murder of Baltimore County police officer Amy Caprio Monday afternoon.
She was the kind of officer that was going to go up in this organization and lead.
She never got the chance. Court documents say Harris confessed to driving at Officer Caprio, and prosecutors say body camera footage captures it all. Telling the judge, video shows the officer pulling over the black Jeep Harris was driving, then drawing her weapon and telling him to get out. It allegedly records Harris open the door and stick his head through the window before ducking back down and punching the gas.
It is I'm told, very telling of what happened on that particular occasion. I have made a recommendation to the chief that the video not be released.
The judge ordering Tuesday that the teenager stay in an adult detention center, saying she doesn't think any juvenile program can hold him, and telling his attorney, quote, "Your client is a one-man crime wave, and I think he's dangerous."
He did an act which impacts a family, a spouse, brothers and sisters in law enforcement, the institution. That young man has done an act which he should be treated as an adult.
And we also learned in court today that the 3 other suspects are 16 and 17 years old. The Baltimore County State's Attorney's Office telling us they have not been charged yet, but could be looking at felony murder charges. Reporting live in Baltimore County, I'm Kimberly Eaton for WJZ.
Kimberly, thank you. Devin Bartolotta is live at the Parkville Police Precinct with more on the officer killed in this tragedy. Devin?
Mary, we are learning more about Officer Amy Caprio. She was a dog lover, always had treats on patrol. She loved the outdoors, kayaking, mountain biking, and starting this weekend, she was supposed to go on a week-long vacation with her husband to celebrate their anniversary. Now she's already sorely missed by many. Precinct number 8, Parkville's home to brothers and sisters in blue, now draped in black bunting. The department devastated 1 day after fellow officer Amy Caprio was senselessly killed in the line of duty.
Officer Caprio is the type of officer that you want to hire. She had a bachelor's degree from Towson, smart, athletic, energetic.
Chopper 13 was over Officer Caprio's procession as fellow officers escorted her body from Franklin Square Hospital. Last week, she celebrated her 3rd anniversary with her husband, Tim. He called into 105.7 The Fan's Big Bad Morning Show Tuesday.
Yeah, actually, she was running late. Her alarm didn't go off, and I actually woke her up to go to work, so...
Tim told hosts Ed Norris and Rob Long, both former officers, he got the tragic news hours later and is still grieving.
I get a call, or the officer stops by at work, and he's like, "Tim, come to the hospital right away."
Baltimore County Police and the community they serve are now grieving with him as a makeshift memorial grows.
I've seen too many people in my career just leave us, and I'm just really tired of it. It makes me both extremely sad and very angry.
Moms from Gunpowder Elementary PTA dropped off coffee and snacks as a thank you and show of solidarity, relieved the manhunt in their neighborhood is over.
We're grateful that they're in custody. We mourn with the officers for their officer. It's a hard day for everyone, I think.
The heartache of losing an officer felt deeply throughout Baltimore County. A beloved daughter, wife, and officer fallen but not forgotten. Officer Caprio's viewing will be at Shimonik Funeral Home in Perry Hall on Thursday from 2 to 5 and from 7 to 9. Her funeral will be Friday morning at 10 a.m. at Mountain Christian Church in Falston. This memorial behind me here at the precinct has grown even in just the last 2 hours. Many people here bringing flowers and balloons to pay their respects. Back to you.
Devin, thank you. Let's go now to Rick Ritter. Rick has been talking with the people in the Perry Hall neighborhood where this tragedy unfolded. Rick?
Well, Vic, for many out here, it was the fear of the unknown, not knowing where these suspects were or when they would be caught. Tonight, this entire community is breathing a sigh of relief. Tuesday marks a return to normalcy for this Perry Hall community. Streets back open and neighbors resurfacing. Just hours before, it was essentially on lockdown. Hundreds found themselves in the middle of a manhunt after Officer Amy Caprio was killed along Linwin Way.
And I'm in poor health, and I don't know why the Lord don't take me and let a young girl like that live.
Andy Vogel heard the chaos play out.
And I was just getting up and I heard a pop, and I thought, damn, that sounds like a gun.
Authorities quickly swarmed the area with officers weaving in between homes, desperately searching for the suspects.
My wife was petrified. She screamed, come on in the house, come on in the house.
Forcing several schools to keep children like 10-year-old Abigail Cook, who was locked inside for hours.
My friend, he looked it up what happened, and he said there was a gun shooting. Then I started getting freaked out. What's going to happen?
Many left fearing the worst.
It was complete chaos.
With the suspects now in custody, anxiety has faded, but the pain is still fresh. Bruno Barron, one of many strangers dropping off flowers at a makeshift memorial for Caprio, trying to take it all in.
It's like crazy. It's total insanity.
Knowing the chaos they lived through is irrelevant compared to the heartache of Caprio's family.
Anytime you lose a life like that, it's just totally unfair.
Tonight, many people are still coming to this community to drop off flowers, even complete strangers showing up to pay their respects. Back to you.
I know that is so touching, Rick. Thank you. In the moments after the officer suffered critical injuries, neighbors jumped into action trying to help. Mike Hsu is at the scene with their stories.
Good afternoon. As the incident was going down, a volunteer from Kingsville Fire, trained in medical emergencies, was just steps away. He was first to the fallen officer, trying to help her survive.
Donna Stetka detours from her commute to GBMC, parks at the spot where the officer was hit, and holds flowers she, this morning, cut from her garden. Her delivery, a powerful symbol that a community cares.
Well, my dad was a Baltimore City policeman, my brother a state trooper, and I know that every day they put their lives on the line for all of us. So it's the least I can do as I head into work.
She called in that she saw a black Jeep.
It happened right in front of Tony Kurek's house. His neighbor called 911 to report a possible burglary here across the street, that 4 men were walking in the backyard. Then Officer Caprio rolls up. This is her car where she left it. Then a gunshot, and she went flying. Tony's son Logan is a volunteer with Kingsville Fire.
He went right to her vest because he knows the protocol and radioed in officer down 3 times through the thing.
So he called in to Baltimore County.
Correct.
One of their own was...
Through her mic that it was on.
Logan went to work trying to save her. As a firefighter, he's used to seeing people this way. Tony is not.
I don't even like to say this. I mean, I looked into eyes that didn't respond back to me. Her eyes were wide open. We were going, ma'am, come on, stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. In her eyes, it was just a blank stare. It was very, very surreal.
Tony didn't sleep last night, but he knows in his heart all that could be done at Linwen Court was done.
Within 3 minutes, she was out of here because, I mean, they saw the severity of the situation. So I got visions of her in my sight. And so, I mean, she was laying in, there was nothing we could do to help her.
Tony says the police found a shell casing from her gun nearby and that her hand was still pointed in this position when they arrived to try to help. I'm Mike Hsu reporting from Perry Hall. Back to you.
And WJZ has the latest on this horrible tragedy. 29-year-old officer Amy Caprio is killed on duty in Perry Hall. 4 teens are in custody in connection with her death. A 16-year-old is charged as an adult with first-degree murder. Funeral plans for the slain officer have now been finalized. And stay with WJZ for the latest on the officer killed in Baltimore County. We will have the very latest on that officer, the suspects, and how it happened.